part. Once again, I start with the traditional practice. Normally, a teacher, like the experience of 20 to 25 years in the colleges, we introduce a topic by lecturing on general principles. Start from the principles, then we deliver mathematical models using the principles. Then we illustrate some applications for the mathematical models. We practice the similar derivation and applications. We give it as a homework. And finally, test the student's ability to do the same sort of things on the examination. This is normally what we follow here. But the problem here is it sufficient to reach the higher order thinking skills? That's going to be the fundamental idea, because normally the graduate attributes of an engineering program or any graduation program expects the higher order thinking skills now. That's going to be a problem. Is it sufficient? It's a basic thing we would like to answer here. So we need to understand what are the pedagogical challenge for the current students, that's the millennial learners, 21st century learners. The literature says there are 4 major challenges are there. The first challenge is the students have a limited attention span. Some of the studies, they say that continually a student can listen to a topic or a lecture for 20 minutes only. That means as a teacher, if you take a 1 hour session, we should plan the 20 minutes. That should be our delivering mechanism should be in smaller chunks, that we should deliver the 15 minutes what we get to do, 5 minutes activity, then 15 minutes lecture. We should plan accordingly there. Then the second thing is that students have different approaches for processing information. If in a class of 50 students, there are 3 ways of assessing or processing the information. One at the surface level. They don't want to go into the depth of what we are addressing there in the class. The second approach is the deep level. The third one is the strategic approach. Normally, the strategic approach is mainly used in competitive examination, but our students in the autonomous colleges, they are capable of understanding what is the expectations, then they do the things like that. But focus should be on the deep approach for processing information. Then only we can go into the higher order thinking skills, then only we can meet the requirement of engineering graduates. The students we should understand that students have different learning styles from 4 different ways. I'm going to look at it here. Whether the learners are visual or auditory. Then the second level is whether these students are sequential learners or global learners, whether they are active learners or reflective learners, whether the learners are sensory or intuitive. For example, if a student is a global learner in nature means until he or she gets a big picture or a system level thinking of that particular subject or a course, they will not be able to cope up with our classroom activities. Sequential learners can adapt to our classroom teaching very easily. That means students may be among these 4 criteria: visual, auditory, sequential, global, active, reflective, sensory, intuitive. They may be in any one of the cases, but we cannot change. I may be fit into the case of auditory, global, reflective, and intuitive. But the student may be in different levels means how we are going to plan some activities through the collaborative and active learning strategies. We get to fill this particular gap. The 5th level, inductive or deductive, is based on our teaching methodology here. Whether we start from the applications to principles or principle to applications, that decides that. Normally, professors with 20 years or 25 years of experience, we normally start with the principles, finally end up with applications. But student wants application first, the principles. In order to understand that application part, they are looking for the principles there. This is in the reverse direction. So how we are going to meet these challenges there? That's from the learning style of these things. The last one, the students need to be motivated constantly. That means for all the assessments, we should be able to give a constructive feedback to the students. These are the 4 major pedagogical challenges we should understand, and how we are going to plan our content delivery activities so that we can easily reach the expected level of the outcomes in OBE framework. Then the next level is millennial learners and the teachers' role. This is based on the studies. I collected some of the things like what are the requirements by the millennial learners. Then I am giving the teacher's role as a substitute there. Millennial learners, they prefer open, transparent, and fair interaction. They want to be as a friendly approach. They are looking for nothing confidential. OBE is best suitable for that particular thing, as well as the choice-based credit system. What we can do here, we get to be transparent. That means from the design part, in content delivery part, as well as in the assessment part. That means we are defining the course outcomes, how I am going to use the assessment methods for grading them. Okay, that's the kind of the things we are going to look at as a transparency here. We can provide some constructive feedback for the fair interaction among the students. Then the second things they say that the millennial learners learn best when the content is relevant and presented in a rational manner. That means we should make the content relevant. We can follow some of the learning the concepts theories like a ARCS model. It's attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction. This kind of so many models are available. I'm just mentioning one of the things here, so that we should get the attention of the students in first few minutes. Then we get to connect them. The content should be relevant to them. Then we should build the confidence. Finally, at the end of the session, they should get satisfaction here. That's a fundamental idea of the ARCS model. Then we deliver in smaller chunks because the students have the short attention span. That should be done there. Then they learn best when the content is presented in multiple modes, like a visual, audio, games, contest. That means our classroom should be an active classroom, not just a lecture only. It's for the entire 1 hour things we are going to give the lecture. That will not work out properly for the current level of the students. Okay, so we are going to plan some multimodal delivery of content. That means we should use some active learning methodologies. In fact, the millennial learners, they enjoy researching information as an independent role also they are going to give. We can provide them some challenging assignments in everyday instruction there. That's going to be things they will engage them in the enjoying the researching information also. There is a question here. What are the online certification courses which could be considered for credits? Recently, All India Council for Technical Education, they introduced a concept called degree program with minor. That means, suppose I am studying in a course in program in Electronics and Communication Engineering program. I can take 20 credits from online, like MOOCs, massive online open online courses, or I can do some of the things like a Coursera, edX, NPTEL courses. I can complete 20 credits. They are giving two options to the students. They may be offered BE degree with honors or BE degree in Electronics and Communication Engineering, minor in the area in which they can completed the 20 credits through online. So it becomes, it is possible now, online certificate courses will be given credit, not part of the CGPA. They will be awarded as a honors or minor in that particular area.
Dr. Trivingam, I have a question. See, there's a general thought that implementing the choice-based credit system, there could be a significant increase in the resources required. Can you please share with your thoughts on how your experience on this particular topic and how you went about managing resources?
It is just a planning, sir. It is not a extra resources we don't want. Actually, I will take my own department case study here. We have 120 students in BE Electronics and Communication Engineering, and we offer 2 ME program, Wireless Technologies and a Communication System. We have 1:15 ratio of the faculty member. Currently, we are having 31 faculty members now. If you look at the load wise, we are able to offer at least in a place of 1 elective course, we are able to offer 3 elective courses within this limit itself. If we are offering these electives according to the student's requirement, there is a definite possibility with the available number of faculty members in the department. We are practicing that particular one. There will be not a extra resources we don't want. We can plan our timetable and the faculty members availability accordingly, it is possible there. I hope that I have answered your question, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You can please proceed. Thank you.
Okay. I'll continue from the millennial learners. They are enjoying the social interaction with peers and the teachers. They want to be treated as friends. That's a fundamental thing they are aiming at here. That means we should make ourselves accessible to the students. That's a fundamental thing. Then connects well with the technology. This is where we are going to use the ICT components. We can go ahead with the use of the ICT. We can plan some group activities. We can encourage them for the collaborative learning also. They have already mentioned that a short attention span. That means we should plan all our activities in a smaller chunks. That will engage the students in a more active manner in the classroom itself. They learn best in a relaxed environment. That means our things, it should be stress-free, or it should be, our system should be transparent here. And finally, if we are able to provide some constructive feedback, that will solve many of the problems here now. Then immediately, I expect some questions from the teachers. I just listed out some of the questions. What mistakes do we make when we implement the active learning strategies? Will it not affect our original plan of covering the syllabus? Because some of the things, the first question I would like to answer, if the remaining 4 questions, if you are interested, I'll give the answer in the question and answer session. If you plan activities for more than 3 minutes, definitely that will affect. Our activities should be as minimum as possible in the time duration wise. Like if you implement something like a think, pair, share, that will not take more than 3 minutes. That apparently further, it will enhance the students' concentration in the classroom itself. That is more than sufficient for us to get on into the next topic or the next module there. Then, if you are asking the same person in the classroom repeatedly for every activity, that will disturb the flow now. So, we can plan this particular thing carefully, then we can spend more time on this particular part.